So I was just watching this video by Thomas Sieber where he goes around to dealerships and reviews random cars and looks at things that have been sitting on the lot for a while. But this one really stuck out to me. This Porsche Turbo is like 193K.
Sold yet. It's been here for months and months, not sold. And for a desirable SUV like this, you know, this thing's supposed to sell quicker than quick, but it's $193,000.
So I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, how is that 193 grand? That is absolutely insane. And then I started actually looking into the specs, and I'm not saying that that's a reasonable price. I'm just saying that like there's a lot more than I realized that you're getting with a vehicle like this. And I just kind of wanted to break down like where this price tag came from. Because my initial thought is this looks like a regular Cayenne that you'd see on the street. So how the heck does it cost that? I mean, I would have been thinking like 100K is kind of a lot still. But once I started digging through the weeds, I realized there's actually a lot more to it. So let's go into why this costs so much. One of the first things to note just right off the top is there's a huge difference between the base models and something like the Turbo GT. Even though they look about the same on the outside, they're quite different. So you can see here, like just this is the standard lineup from the actual Porsche website. That electric's a little bit more, 110K. And then here's some of the specs. So you got 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, 435 horsepower. That's pretty good. And then, you know, the traditional gasoline one is going to be slower. So you have 5.7 second, 0 to 60, 348 horsepower. And the coupe, similar specs. This is gasoline, 5.4 second, 0 to 60, 348 horsepower for 94 grand. So now switching gears to the Turbo GT, this is not the same situation for sure. So we've got 3.1 second, 0 to 60. That's like competitive with, you know, a lot of Ferraris. You can obviously get a car now that'll do 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds or maybe even lower for some of the electrics. But this is really pushing the limit of what you could do for a you know, a supercar, especially an SUV, 650 horsepower. And then you're going to have a ton of additional premium features that actually do cost a lot of money. So, you know, these special wheels and massive rotors and brakes, just these rotors and calipers right here are going to set you back, you know, probably like 20 grand at least. So this is all going to be factored in the price. And I wanted to just kind of look around at some other things on the market. So if you go here, like you can, a new 2026 Porsche Cayenne, you're obviously paying a ton more just because it's like brand new and there's so much demand for something like this. But when you go to the spec list, it's like fully loaded out. I mean, you have all these different options for like different climate control stuff that the other one doesn't have. You have all sorts of like adapted suspension, all sorts of things for off-roading. You know, there's probably a few grand extra in just the speaker system. And there's just so many extra features that you're ending up getting with this. I'm sure these wheels right here are, you know, another 10 grand on top of that too, because those are some nice looking wheels. Interior wise, it is funny to see that, like, yes, it has more features, but when you just go look at like a regular Porsche Cayenne that's not, you know, super premium one, like, let me see, I had one pulled up. Yeah, so here's like a 2025 Porsche Cayenne. This one's new. And you can tell like on the outside, there's definitely some like visible differences, like much smaller rotors and calipers. The wheels aren't quite as big. It doesn't have as many like fancy accents on it, but the interior is still incredibly nice. So like, it is kind of funny how we've gotten so far with interiors of cars now that like for literally more than literally less than half the price, you can get a vehicle with the same, basically the same looking interior. Like I said, the other one has a lot more features, but you know, side by side, these are quite similar if you look at them. So like, unless you know exactly what you're getting, like you want the extra off-road features and all that, you know, overall the car to the layman is going to look about the same on the outside. So this one's 241 grand. And then this one is 116 grand. One's a 2026, one's a 2025. They're both new. So really what you are paying for is that performance. And that's kind of common for cars. Like, you know, you can look at like a regular Mustang GT and you can buy one for like, you know, a brand new Mustang GT you could get for like 55 grand or something in that ballpark. But then if you want to get like the GT 500, it's 150K. It's like literally almost triple the price. So it's not that uncommon to pay insanely more for performance. And when I was like watching this video, I was just like, how could this, which this is just my bias. I don't think these are that good of looking cars. I see people drive used Porsche Cayennes all the time. And it, if you don't know what you're actually looking at, like you could, you know, there's used ones on the road like this that are like 40, 50 grand. So when he dropped that 193K price tag on this thing, I was like, I gotta go see what this is. And now that I look at the specs, it's like, I kind of get it. Okay. It's like, you know, you're going from like kind of a potato. This is still pretty fast. I mean, this is a really nice car. Let's not beat around the bush. I can't afford this. This is an incredibly nice vehicle, but like it's not insane for 100 grand. Like, you know, a $25,000 Mustang's obviously faster. That's a sports car, but like it still has leather interior and you know, it's this is not fast is what I'm saying. But then like you come over here to this one, this is really starting to get up in the territory of like this is a very fast machine. They're putting a ton of extra work and detail into the way that this thing runs and all these like performance things. So like you could take this to the track and it would absolutely smoke most vehicles. So like, you know, if you're a Porsche enthusiast and you also want an SUV that is still incredibly quick, you can get something like that. But I just wanted to make a quick video about that because I was like, I mean, what are you even getting for that price? Like it's you're paying a lot for this 8-speed transmission, all-wheel drive, all the off-road features, the V8 and that's just how it's going to be in these cases where, you know, like this one's a 3-cylinder or I'm sorry, a 3-liter 6-cylinder turbo. And it also has all-wheel drive and 8-speed, but it's not going to have, like when you look at the features, it's not loaded with like every single off-road thing you could imagine. Whereas this other one, when you come look at the specs, it's like there is just like so much extra stuff you're getting in here. So, you know, if somebody's like loaded and they want to get this insane vehicle, like you do get extra stuff for it. You're not just paying for the Porsche brand name. You can still get a cheap Porsche. And here, just for fun, let's plug in a regular Porsche Cayenne and see what you get. So like, let's say you're actually in the market for something like this and you're not absolutely loaded. Let's do like 2020. Oops, maximum year. I meant to do 2023. Say like 2019 to 2023. Yeah, so it's like, you know, this is what I see on the road all the time. So that's why when I saw that he had this one for 193K, I'm like, dude, that's like a $40,000 car. Why is that 100? I mean, it's not new. It makes sense. It's 100 grand new, but like you can get a lot of car for this. I'm sure these are super expensive to maintain, which is why they're that cheap. But not that 34 grand is cheap per se, but compared to 193 grand, this is a really nice vehicle for what it is. And I'm sure the maintenance costs are madness, which is why it's reasonably affordable. But wanted to make a quick video about it. Hope this helped somebody wrap their head around it. Just in summary, you know, my initial thought was, I thought it was just, you know, oh, it's new and it's branded, so it's probably got some extra features, so they're destroying you on the price. But then when I started looking at the specs, I'm like, okay, man, 3.1 seconds, 0 to 60 for an SUV, that's really good. And all these extra specs with the upgraded brakes and everything, and just all the features, it really adds up, and it makes sense how it could be that price. So hope this helps somebody. And if you like this kind of content, it's just, this is like my lower effort editing channel. So I'm going to keep putting out videos like this. But if you liked it, please like and subscribe. I'm going to try to keep putting out content like this. Thanks for watching.